welcome to another episode. We're over at the hunting property. I'm walking in at the different food plots that we planted, seeing how they're looking. We've had actually quite a bit of rain for it being mid-August, so that's good news. Hopefully stuff's growing. I never made it back over with the tractor like I wanted to lay stuff over top of it, but should still grow. We planted it this way before and it's worked. I'm coming up on the first one right now. This is the box blind. See a little bit of growth, not a lot. That's okay. It's still got time to germinate. I can't remember how many days it is for brassica. All right, let's walk over to the actual box blind now. Something's been scratching the ground right here. Almost looks like turkey. And it's looking about the same right here. And this place usually grows really well. It's interesting. I mean, even places where it's bare, I'm not seeing the germination I would expect. Look just a bit further. Well, I may have to plant it again. I have to do a second planting. That's what it's looking like. Which that happens. There's some right there that are populating. Not very many though. But that happens when you're planting food plots. You don't get a perfect planting every time. Someone tells you you do. They're a moron. Unless they're using tons of fertilizer and lime and stuff. But not every plant's going to 100% work. Because you can't control nature. Especially with these no-till plots. Anyone tells you otherwise, they may not be doing a real no-till plot. So, just my 2 cents, but we'll just plant it again. Ain't no big deal. And here's my thing with the no-tills. It's not, I mean, yeah, it makes the dirt really nice and hold moisture, but it's easier to walk on. That's my big thing with it. So we'll go to the next spot and see what it looks like there. Be back in a bit. Okay, at the third spot, and I'm seeing all the clover growing here, but I'm not seeing any new growth. So probably have to do some replanting. That's fine. It just puts us a couple weeks behind on growth, but that's okay. Bring the tractor over again, brush hog this stuff down again and plant. And I don't know what happened at the second spot. I don't know why my phone didn't record, but went in there and saw a little bit of new growth, not a lot of clover. Looked like it had spread since we'd been in there, so that's good. But we'll probably replant that too. So Last spot we got to check is there behind the house. We'll see what that looks like. We did brush hog that spot directly after planting it, so that might be a different result back there. We'll see. Of course, it is fighting that Johnson grass, so since we didn't spray like I planned on doing, that could be our lost cause. I don't know. I've never fought it before to plant a food plot, at least. So, see you when we get back there. All right, we're behind the house now. Just taking a look real quick. There's some growing. All right, we have some growing here, so this one took. Yeah, this one's doing good here. Got quite a bit growing here, so I'll reseed the other 3. We'll brush hog them down. I'll do a stage 2 seeding for this one. We'll basically be doing stage 1 on those again. But I'll do a stage 2 here where I mix in some clover and then do some peas for stage 3, and we are moving on towards season. Stick with us. I'll be back. Okay, so it's the next day. I didn't get, we were supposed to go get grain or feed this morning for the deer. Called the feed mill first thing, and now the feed's not going to be ready until 3 o'clock this afternoon, so figured I'd go ahead and try to finish out the video that I started yesterday when we went and looked at the food plots and talk about that for a minute. So the food plot here at the house, the new food plot, is doing really well. Had a lot of new growth in there, had it growing up. I think that one's going to turn out really well. The other ones, we're going to need to rebrush hog. We're going to have to reseed them. They just, I don't know. I saw a little bit, but not a lot of growth in those. So I don't know if it's just been the weather this year. We have gotten some rain, but then right after we got the rain, it got really hot. So I don't know if that's affected stuff or not. I mean, it's still early. I mean, honestly, I don't usually plant food plots until September, and we're still, you know, in August. So I'm still ahead of the game from where I'm normally at. And I was wanting to get ahead this year so I could have taller food plots come season. But, you know, we work with what we can get. You know, nature doesn't always want to cooperate. That's fine. With the time constraints, I don't know if I'll be able to plant radish in all the locations like I wanted to, or the kale might just be solely turnips this year, which that's fine. We know the deer love turnips. And a lot of the idea with the radish for what I wanted was to increase the soil quality, which turnips do that too, so that's okay. Good news is we do have at all locations really good stances of clover. So when we do another seeding of clover, that's just going to help actually increase the amount of clover that we're going to be having, so that'll actually benefit us. I still want to do some Austrian winter peas. I haven't decided on how much I want to do. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with the food plots. Still looking at different stands. Haven't really decided on what stand I want. I've got plenty of time. I mean, season doesn't open for Oklahoma until October 1st. This stand right here that I'm trying to find one for. Probably won't really hunt that until mid-October anyway. So even if I did put it in not until October, I'd still be fine. But yeah, that's kind of where things sit right now. That's kind of the plan for everything. You know, we'll do some more planting, more brush hogging. The trails definitely need to be brush hogged again. They've grown up knee high, a little bit higher in some spots. So we want to brush hog those so when we have those heavy dew mornings, we don't have to get soaking wet just walking to the stand. I'm going to have to go do a little bit of work on the trail into the tower blind because that trail was grown up a little bit, so probably just go in there with a machete and just whack stuff down real quick. Overall it should be okay, or even probably a shovel or a rake would work doing that. No new pictures on the trail cams, which really is not expected yet. I'm not expecting to see stuff, a lot of stuff, until probably mid-September. So yeah, that's where everything's at right now. I'll record some more later. We're at the feed mill, waiting to be weighed, and then we'll go in there and get loaded up.